Imagine walking into your own house, your supposed safe space, and seeing your dad and your actual best friend doing the one thing that will literally scar you for life. I had mentally prepared for this, but they both looked me right in the eyes and swore nothing would happen. They were liars. Both of them. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a post from the subreddit r/relationship_advice. It's by a user named Slip8. The title is, "Me with my friend of 8 years. She is actively trying to be with my father." Let's just jump right into the post. So, this girl and I have been best friends forever. We have literally been BFFs since grade school. Our parents were really close friends with each other too, so we basically grew up in the same house. My mom passed away when I was 15. That was obviously the hardest thing I've ever gone through. But my best friend was right there for me the entire time. She held my hand, let me cry, and was just a rock for me. She's always been the more mature one between the two of us. While I've kind of enjoyed a fun, slightly wild dating life as a teenager, she's always been super quiet and discreet about any guy she's talked to. None of her relationships ever seemed to last very long, though. I honestly started to notice a change in her vibe around my dad when she started going to college. At first, I didn't even suspect anything weird. I mean, she would just bring him dinner once a week when he got off work. I thought it was sweet. But a couple of months ago, I started noticing the details. She would wear outfits around him that were honestly totally inappropriate for just hanging out at your best friend's house. Then, the whole dinner routine changed. She started bringing him dinner specifically on the nights when I wasn't home. She had done that maybe once or twice over the years, but now it was a regular thing. She was purposely picking the nights I was out. For some context, my dad hasn't even been on a single date since my mom died. I think he always felt like it would look bad to me or my brother, like he was trying to replace her. But my brother and I have both told him recently that we don't expect him to live like a monk forever. He was so loyal to our mom, and we just want him to be happy now. I know my best friend. I love her like a literal sister. So I'm just going to admit that I was a really bad friend for a second. I know where she keeps her online diary. She's kept it for years, and I've always known her password is just her cat's name because she uses that same stupid password for literally everything. So yeah, I snooped. It was wrong. I know it was a massive invasion of privacy, and I feel like garbage for doing it. But honestly, what's done is done, and my worst suspicions were totally confirmed. She is completely obsessed with my dad. From what I read, she has been for years, and that's exactly why none of her own dating relationships ever worked out. First of all, this grossed me the hell out. He is my dad. She used to sleep over at our house when she was 12 years old, while my mom was sleeping down the hall. Reading her romantic thoughts about my dad literally made my stomach turn. In one entry from 2 weeks ago, she wrote that she started talking to him about her personal feelings, and that he actually opened up to her. I didn't know if that was real or just some weird fantasy she was making up in her head. Just to clear up the ages, my dad is 38. I was born when he was 19. She is 20, turning 21 next month. That is a 17-year age gap. I was so torn. I couldn't look at her the same way knowing what I knew. She would be so mad if she knew I read her diary, and she'd have every right to be. On one hand, the whole thing weirded me out on a massive scale. But on the other hand, I love her so much. Part of my brain was like, well, I know she would take good care of him. I had no idea how my dad felt or if he even noticed her crushing on him. After stressing over this for 2 days straight, like literally crying into tissues, I decided I couldn't hold it in. When she came over after work, we were standing in the kitchen and I just casually asked her. I said I noticed she was spending a lot of time with my dad and asked if anything was going on. She immediately cringed and said, "Ew, gross, that's your dad." I knew she was lying, but I couldn't tell her I read her diary. So I dropped it. But a few minutes later, she looked super nervous and asked if I was mad that she was hanging out with him. I grabbed her arm, pulled her into the living room and just said, "Tell me what's really going on." She tried to make excuses, saying she just wanted to help take care of him. I pushed harder. I asked why she dressed up just to bring him food. That's when she broke down crying.
She confessed that she loves him and has loved him for 4 years. Basically, since she was 16, right after my mom died. She was sobbing, saying I must hate her and that our friendship was ruined. I promised her it wasn't. We cried together for hours. She even felt super guilty because she felt like she was betraying my mom. It was a huge emotional mess. Then she dropped a crazy question on me. She wanted me to talk to my dad for her, just to see if he liked her back, because she was too scared to do it herself, even though it was insanely awkward. I agreed. The next night, while Dad and I were cleaning up after dinner, I just blurted it out. I asked if he knew she liked him as more than a friend. I expected him to laugh or be shocked. Instead, he just looked at me and said, "I'm not an idiot." I told him that if he was holding back because of me or my brother, he didn't need to. He just said, "Okay." He didn't seem weirded out at all, which made me think he actually liked her too. I told my friend what he said, and a couple of days later, she went to talk to him herself. But she called me later, completely heartbroken. She said he turned her down. He told her he only saw her as a daughter and wasn't interested in her romantically. He was super nice about it, but she was crushed. Secretly, I was so relieved. I comforted her all night, thinking this messy chapter was finally over. 3 weeks later. I am so angry I can't even see straight. I feel completely used and betrayed. I walked into my house and caught them together. My father and my best friend. Doing it. Under my roof. I wanted to rip the hair right out of her head. I was so disgusted I just turned around and walked right back out of the house. My brother told me later he knew something was up because she never actually stopped coming over. Right now, I absolutely hate her. How could she cry in my face, talk about moving on, and then go do this? And my dad? I don't even know what to think. He acted so mature when he rejected her, just to turn around and do this behind my back. I haven't spoken to either of them since. I literally don't know where we go from here, or how I'm supposed to ever forgive them. Community comments. Comment 1 by True Crime T. Bro, your dad's response when you first asked him is the biggest red flag ever. I'm not an idiot. He fully knew this 20-year-old girl was throwing herself at him, and he just sat back and enjoyed the attention. The whole, "I see you as a daughter" speech was a total lie. He just said that, so you would drop it, and he could date her in secret. Comment 2 by just_reader99. She has been obsessed with him since she was 16? That is so creepy. Plus, she used to sleep over at your house as a literal child. The 17-year age gap is bad enough, but the fact that he watched her grow up makes this so entirely foul. You need to block them both for your own mental health. Comment 3 by Pizza and Tears. What gets me is how manipulative your friend is. She literally used you. She cried with you, made you feel bad for her, used you to test the waters with your dad, and then slept with him anyway. That is not a best friend. That is someone who only cares about herself. Honestly, guys, this story is just wild. Being a teenager is hard enough without your literal dad, and your best friend completely blowing up your life and your trust. The age gap is super sketchy. He's almost 40 and she's barely out of her teens. But the worst part is the lying. Your dad knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't want to look like the bad guy to you, so he lied to your face to keep you calm, while he went ahead and did whatever he wanted anyway. And your friend? She used your shared trauma over your mom's death to get closer to your dad, which is just dark. Best friends don't lie to your face, use you as a wingman, and then sneak around in your house. I think OP has every right to be furious and to take a huge step back from both of them. You can't choose your family, but you definitely don't have to tolerate them lying to you. That is going to wrap it up for today's post. I honestly cannot even imagine walking into a situation like that. My brain would just short circuit. What do you guys think? Is the dad more to blame or the best friend? Or are they both equally just the worst? Drop your opinions down in the comments, because I really want to read what you think about this mess.